You ever heard of a love story that starts in two completely different worlds? This one begins in Nairobi, the city of hustle, noise, beauty, and heartbreak. On one side of the city, there's Aliyah, beautiful, rich, the kind of girl you see in magazines. She lives in a mansion in Karen, goes to an international school, and has a personal driver, chef, and every luxury you can imagine. But deep inside, she's tired, lonely, wishing someone just once would see her, not the money. Now, across town in the heart of Kibera, there's Kai, a mechanic, hands always dirty with grease, but smart, focused, and full of fire. He works at a garage during the day and studies at night. His dream? To one day open his own shop and take his family out of poverty. They had nothing in common, until the day they met. It was a school outreach program. Alia's class was visiting Kibera to hand out supplies. To her, it felt fake, like a photo op. She was walking through the narrow alley when her phone slipped from her pocket. Before she could reach for it, a hand picked it up. Kai. "Careful," he said, handing it back. "These streets don't forgive clumsy hands." She blinked, surprised. "Thanks, Kai." Their eyes met, and something clicked. They bumped into each other again a week later at the market. This time, she was with her driver. Kai was buying spare parts. She recognized him, smiled. He gave a small nod. Later that night, she searched him on Instagram. Nothing. The mystery just made her more curious. Somehow, they started talking. First through texts, then voice notes, late-night messages, good morning greetings, inside jokes. Until one evening she sneaked out of her house, and they met again, in his garage. They bumped into each other again a week later at the market. This time, she was with her driver. Kai was buying spare parts. She recognized him, smiled. He gave a small nod. Later that night, she searched him on Instagram. Nothing. The mystery just made her more curious. Somehow, they started talking. First through texts, then voice notes, late-night messages, good morning greetings, inside jokes. Until one evening she sneaked out of her house, and they met again, in his garage. The garage was quiet, dim, just the sound of the city in the background. Aliyah wore jeans and a plain t-shirt. Her hair was tied back. She looked like a different person. Real. Kai handed her a wrench. "Ever changed a spark plug before?" "Nope," she laughed. "But I'm here to learn." He stood behind her, guiding her hand. His chest brushed against her back, her breath caught. His hands lingered just a second longer. Their eyes met, and then they kissed. Slow, warm, like two people who'd waited forever to feel seen. That kiss wasn't rushed. It was deep, hands exploring carefully, lips searching gently. They stopped before it got too far, but the fire had already started. From that night on, it was their secret. They'd meet in quiet places, under trees, in his tiny apartment, or her dad's empty guest house, their hands always finding each other, their kisses longer, deeper. One night she whispered, "I want you." He looked into her eyes and said, "I want all of you, but not like this, not in hiding. You deserve more." She nodded. They held each other tight, skin to skin, just feeling each other's heartbeat. But life doesn't let secrets last long. Her father found out. He exploded. "You're destroying this family's name for a mechanic. You think this is love?" She tried to explain, but he took her phone, changed her school, hired guards to watch her. Kai waited, for days, then weeks, until he saw her at a wedding. She was stunning, but distant. He walked up to her. "You ghosted me." "I didn't want to." "Then why?" "They wouldn't let me see you. I had no choice." "There's always a choice," he said, and walked away. Kai threw himself into work, applied for scholarships, got one, studied engineering, graduated top of his class, started a business, became someone. Aaliyah, she went through heartbreak after heartbreak. Her dad tried to marry her off. One man hit her, one cheated, one just didn't care. Each time she came home more broken, but never stopped thinking of Kai. Years passed. Her father had a stroke. No doctor could help, until someone said, "There's a young specialist in Mombasa. He's worked miracles." They flew there, waited, and then he walked in, tall, sharp, confident, white coat, stethoscope. "Kai," she whispered. He didn't flinch. "Good morning, I'm Dr. Kai." Her father stammered. You're that boy." Kai cut him off. "I'm the doctor now. Tell me what's wrong." He treated her father, saved his life, and left the room without a word. Days later, Aaliyah came to his clinic. He didn't look surprised. She said, "I know we've changed, but I never stopped loving you." He looked at her, quiet. "I wanted to hate you," he said, "but I couldn't." She stepped closer. "I'm ready to choose us this time." He pulled her in. They kissed. No fear, no secrets, no hiding. Now on the rooftop of Kai's clinic, the two of them stand watching the sunset over Nairobi, her head on his shoulder, his hand in hers. "You feel that?" she whispers. He nods. "It still beats for you." And under that golden African sky, two hearts finally found their way home.